It's Randy Orton. Oh.
I have voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me.
Hey guys, what is up? Mr. Beeflight99 here, and today I'm just going to be doing my predictions for TLC 2015. Before we get on with the predictions, I just want to say that this show has been really poorly booked. Like, I think this has probably been the worst booked pay-per-view of 2015. Like, for me, I completely forgot that Raw last night was even, you know, the go-home show. I just simply forgot. I still thought we had another week or whatever, but nope, they only gave 3 weeks build to this for some reason, which I don't really get, because I think they could have done it next weekend. In all honesty, I mean, it's not as if it's really close to Christmas. I mean, it's like 5 days, I guess, but it's not, you know, exactly right, you know, near Christmas. So I thought they would have maybe done it on the 20th. I think it's the 20th, anyway. But yeah. So anyway, let's get on with the predictions for this card. I mean, this card isn't that bad. I think it could be. It's got the potential to maybe be a decent show. But then I said that with Survivor Series, didn't I? And look at that, what we got. We just got shit. So, but anyway, let's get on with the predictions. First, we'll look at the chairs match for the US title, Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger. I'm no real excitement for this match. Del Rio, I was hyped when he came back at Hell in the Cell. You know, I was very surprised as well to see him, but they really just have sort of killed any sort of momentum that he had since he returned. He's just been doing that stupid Mex America bullshit, and it was really hard to identify at first whether he was a face or a heel. But I guess now he's a heel since he's feuding with Jack Swagger, who we haven't seen in ages, and suddenly just comes onto the scene, gets a US title match, and you know, Swagger's not exactly a legitimate threat to the US title, is he? So obviously I'm going to go with Del Rio to retain here. Don't really care about this match. Didn't care about it when they feuded over the world title back at WrestleMania, so why should I care about it, you know, like 2 years later when they're feuding over the US title in a chairs match? Just not very excited for this. Next, we'll look at the Divas Championship match, Charlotte versus Paige. Charlotte, I think, will go over, basically. They're clearly building to, well, I say clearly, nothing's clear with WWE, but I'm hoping that they're building to a Charlotte-Sasha Banks feud around WrestleMania time, and Paige is just sort of a filler opponent until we get to WrestleMania, where we have Charlotte and Sasha. So I'm gonna go with Charlotte to win here, but yeah, I'm not really sort of excited at all for this match, really. I think also the reason is just because they've been doing that stupid kind of tweener thing with Charlotte, where they made it seem as if she was going to turn heel because she did the whole injury thing, and then she turned. It seemed she was kind of turning on Becky, but they seem to be fine now, and it's just lack of kind of continuity. And it seemed as if they panicked and tried to turn a heel, and then they're like, "Oh no, actually no, we won't turn a heel." So I'm pretty confused as to, you know, what's going on in this match as in terms of who's face and who's heel. But I'll go with Charlotte to retain. Next, we have an 8-man tables match, which sees the ECW originals. So that's the Dudley Boys, Tommy Dreamer, and Rhino taking on the Wyatt family. This could be quite a fun match. I mean, I guess I did think that with the Wyatts versus the Brothers of Destruction, but you know what? I guess this could have the potential to be not as much as Stinkfest, because, you know, the Dudley Boys can still go. I think they've had some solid matches with New Day since they returned. You know, Tommy Dreamer seems to be in pretty decent nick as well. He can go. From what I've seen of him on NXT, and you know, watching him on NXT and stuff, Rhino's still is in good shape. You know, he had some alright matches with people like Baron Corbin, which was kind of surprising, and he had a good match with Finn Balor as well a while ago. But I think this could be a pretty good match. I think this match, the Wyatts have to go over. They need to go over in this match, because, you know, especially Bray Wyatt has just suffered so much damage in recent months. You know, with the feud lost to Reigns, which I'm not necessarily disappointed by, but that definitely hurt him. And then the whole losing to the Brothers of Destruction. You know, he's just been losing a lot recently, and you know, he got a lot of old guys on this in the ECW Originals team. I think you just need to have the Wyatt family go over and show some sort of dominance, because they really need more momentum. And you know they're one of the only faction, not the only, but they're one of the only factions in WWE. So it's kind of, you know, they need to establish themselves as a threat to anyone, and this will definitely help them if they do so. Next, triple threat tag team ladder match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. This should actually be a really awesome match. This kind of reminds me of those matches with Edge and Christian, Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys. This should be a lot of fun. Like, the teams that you've got in here are really great workers. I mean, you've got New Day, who are all pretty good workers. I mean, I'd say Xavier Woods is probably the weakest worker, but he's still not terrible. Like, I think that all these guys, all of the guys in New Day are definitely really good workers. The Usos as well have had some tremendous matches. You know, got that hype again. You know, and the Lucha Dragons. All these teams I can see taking a lot of risks, especially kind of the Lucha Dragons and the Usos. Who knows? We might, you know, get. I mean, I'm not saying this will be up to par with some of the TLC matches and the Triangle Ladder match from WrestleMania 2000, but this could be a potential show stealer in my opinion. I think these guys have the potential to have a really good match, and maybe, who knows, maybe a match of the year contender. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. As for who's going over, I'm not sure. I mean, I think I'll just go with New Day, simply because I just think there's still a lot more mileage with them holding the tag belts. But if I was to pick a second option, maybe the Usos. I never count out the Usos when they're having a tag title match, because the WWE, you know, they're one of those teams that, you know, can always have a short or have a run with the belt. But I think I'll go with New Day to retain in a match that should be a lot of fun. Second to last match for the IC title, Kevin Owens defending against Dean Ambrose. This should be a really good match as well, actually, now I think about it. This could also steal the show. I think these guys had a really good match at Survivor Series, the match of the night for that, on a somewhat terrible show. But I definitely think, you know, these guys have the potential to step it up a gear and have another really awesome match. As for who goes over, I really think you need to have Kevin Owens go over here, because what I'm hoping they do is they have Kevin Owens go into WrestleMania as the champion, and then you have, this is kind of a bit of fancy booking here, but you have Sami Zayn come onto the main roster in the Royal Rumble, eliminating Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens later on in the match eliminates Sami Zayn. Match returns to the ring, basically eliminates Zayn, and then you start a feud for the IC title going into Mania. So hopefully, you know, not Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens can go over against Ambrose, maybe pull off some shenanigans. You know, so obviously they can keep Ambrose strong, because, you know, considering the injuries and people on the shelf at the minute, they need top guys, face and heels. So you need to keep Ambrose relatively strong. So I'm going to go with Kevin Owens in some sort of crazy shenanigan way. So we go on to the main event here for the WWE World Heavyweight title. Sheamus against Roman Reigns in a TLC match. Really not looking forward to this match. I mean, it could be good, to be fair. I mean, neither guy is like awful in the ring. These guys are fairly solid workers, in my opinion. You know, Sheamus, I think, in some ways gets a bit too much hate, and people say that he's not that great in the ring, when I think, you know, when given the right, you know, situation, he can pull off a good match. And I think this is definitely a good situation. You know, Reigns is a hard-hitting guy, much like Sheamus. They've got that kind of extreme environment with the tables, ladders and chairs, and it could actually be a really good match. You know, I'm not saying it'll be a match of the year per se, but it could be a pretty fun match. I've just got no real investment going in to the show. I mean, they're trying to do this kind of underdog story with Roman Reigns, and it just seems really kind of forced, because, you know, Roman Reigns doesn't look like the kind of guy who is an underdog, does he? I mean, it works with people like Daniel Bryan, because, you know, look at the kind of size of Bryan and, you know, that sort of thing. But with Reigns, it's just not as believable. He should be a guy who can just decimate well, he should have been built, in my opinion, as a guy to be able to decimate people left, right, and centre. But as for a prediction, I think Sheamus will retain. I don't think he's going to hold on to the belt for much longer, but I think definitely he'll retain at TLC and probably lose the belt at Rumble, Fastlane at the latest. But I don't see Sheamus going into Mania as champion, so I'm going to go with Sheamus to retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So those are my predictions for TLC 2015. Hope you enjoyed, guys. Links to my Twitter, Ask.fm, and my second channel. Yeah, I do have a second channel. I upload some clips on there sometimes. Some are like they're all wrestling related. It's either just clips from matches or just like comedy videos to do with wrestling. So if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe.